Sister.
Welcome back. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about why, right?
Yeah.
Why we're doing the Camino. And traditionally it's a religious pilgrimage, and so I really want to touch on that and touch about our relationship to God. Where did we just come from?
We just came from church.
Yeah, so we just came from church, and there was a really great homily, and it inspired this. Actually, this talk's inspired by both that, and I'll link it in the comments. There's a commentary by Emilio Estevez, who wrote the original movie, really, on the Camino, that's called Religion versus Spirituality. Let's start with our journey. Is this our first pilgrimage together?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a special thing that we may have said in the other videos, that actually I went on a pilgrimage about 8 years ago, when Beatrice was where?
In my mom's tummy.
Yeah, so I was about 10 weeks pregnant with Beatrice.
And the pilgrimage was in India.
Yeah, so we went to the Himalayas, and I went on a pilgrimage, a yogic pilgrimage, with my teacher, Swami Shankarananda is his name. And I went with my mom, and Beatrice was this tiny little life in my belly. And so this one's a little bit different. Now we're going on a Catholic pilgrimage. So the Camino de Santiago is considered one of the 3 Catholic pilgrimages. You have Rome, Jerusalem, and the Camino. So we get to do this together, right? Okay, so my journey with God and religion. Let's chat a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I'll ask you questions. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is the most confusing part for all of us, me included.
Yeah.
So I turned to yoga after I was turned off by the church due to hypocrisy. We know this. There were people preaching things that they weren't doing, and also there was a lot of scandals, right? And I thought there was no way that this has any value. I also felt that there wasn't much intellectual depth. And so when I found yoga, or when yoga found me, it had a science of the mind, how to calm the body, a relationship to God that was very scientific. So we do like prayers, mantra beads, which is the same as the rosary, we could say, meditation, which we could call contemplation. Really what most people in the West are practicing as meditation is not meditation. Yeah, but we're just practicing. And yoga also explained why there is evil, and why bad things happen to good people, which I couldn't quite explain other than God wills it in Christianity. I can assure you that I now have a whole new appreciation for particularly Catholicism. I've been looking into schools for the kids, and we have a video coming up, but we're going to post this one first because I felt like this was more pertinent, about homeschooling. And I try not to send my kids to Christian school. I didn't want to, but here we are. We are doing a Christian-based school.
It's 1 weekend, 1 week.
1 day a week?
1 day a week.
Yeah.
Every week. And then once you get in 3rd grade, and the rest of the grades are
You get
2 days.
Yeah. So it's a hybrid option. It's a homeschool, and then they go to school 1 or 2 days a week, which we're really looking forward to, because what she'll say in our homeschool video is, what do you not like about homeschool?
There's no friends.
There's no friends, yeah. But the other part of schooling that I felt like was missing was a guidepost, a way to how should we conduct our daily affairs. And that's where I think religion is very helpful. Emilio Estevez touches on this, and he says that religion, so most of us turn to spirituality without appreciating religion, and religion is what gives us pilgrimages. It's what gives us daily rites. It gives us what do we do each part of the day, where spirituality is great. There's the mystics there. It's fine, but it's not grounded. And this has been my own experience as well. So now we're flash forward 7 years from when I originally started on my pursuit of yoga. And it turns out the yoga world is full of hypocrisy and humans with shadows too. Yeah, there was lots of scandals, and so this last year actually we lost our yoga community, and I don't mean lost, I mean they're still there, but we don't have a religious center anymore. That being said, I knew that I wanted my children to be raised with God, and God is a central feature of their life because it's so stabilizing. The statistics show us that those with religion, that with a strong faith, do much better. And I think that's really important since many of our young people are struggling with depression, anxiety. And I taught holistic health for several years, and most of the people that struggled most deeply had no faith. And in Ayurveda, which is the modality of health, it says that most of our illness comes from when our inner self is not connected with God. We're not understanding what God's calling us to do. That is actually the root of illness. And this is a very deep concept. We won't get into it now. That being said, I want my kids to be happy, healthy, so we're going to find God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can think of religion, in my humble opinion here, now I'm formulating this, but like a meta parent. So when I was 20, I hated my parents. I thought they were awful, and I thought they knew nothing. One day, Beatrice will hate us. Do you hate us sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's going to think we know nothing. The church or the yogic institutions are the same ways. They are not perfect, but they, the reason for their existence is to give us stability and guidance. And it's undeniable that these... that children in a household with two loving, stable, respectful parents are far better off than those without. So we could think of this as a religious institution. So my argument here is that having a religious institution is far more beneficial for our children than not.
Yeah.
It's far more stabilizing, right? It promotes stability, community, comfort, tools for the difficult parts of our lives. This is where we bring in meditation, etc. And so before we post our homeschool video, I thought it was important that we talked about this because I'm trying to show up with B and appeal to those who have a calling to do something like this, but I don't think that the truth of it can be understood without faith. And so I wanted to put this together, right? One last thing before we have B talk about her relationship to God, and you know, she's 7, so we'll see how this plays out. Although I think we see our children's relationship with the divine far more in the small moments of the day than we could in this video, but we'll do our best, right? Okay. So also our children have access to more information and than ever before, but they also have less discernment. They don't know what's good, bad, right, or wrong. And so a pilgrimage is representative of the arduous path that we take to walk the moral, virtuous, ethical path. It is not the path that the majority will follow. That being said, there's quite a turn towards wanting some stability, structure in our lives. Our parish, we just started at 2 months ago. So again, God brought us this wonderful friend who told us about her parish, who Beatrice will tell you about. It's been a lot of fun. It's thriving. It has 1,200 people at the 8:30 Mass, 1,200 people at the 10:30 Mass, and he's very direct about the teachings, which is what I loved about my teacher in yoga, that he would say it as it is, and oftentimes it's not what people wanted to hear, but it was the truth. And people want that. People want realness, I think, these days. And so there's 12,000 in the parish. So here we are after church. I went from yoga. I haven't lost yoga. I'm still very much in the depths of the teachings of yoga. But I would say that the yoga has given me an understanding of the founders of the church in this way. And so this is for the parents, for the other people that may be watching this that aren't kids, to say that most often I hear from friends the reason why they won't turn to Christianity, even dabble in it, is because there's not a depth to it. But I would argue if you search, there are very wonderful philosophical discussions. That being said, let's talk about B. What is your relationship to God? How do we pray to God?
We go to church.
How else do we pray? How else have we prayed, like at ashram? And
we sing songs. We say prayers. I like ashram because there is a song that had Beatrice in it.
So ashram is where we went before going to church, which is a monastery, a place for worshiping God in the yogic tradition. Although our Swami was very good at integrating the Christian teachings. If you have any questions about this, actually I'll link below a few teachings that are people, let's say, from Christian background teaching yoga, which are really beneficial for merging this gap. And then, so singing feels good, praying feels good. How else do we talk to God? Do we talk to God in our everyday life?
Yeah. I like to talk to God when I do like gymnastics and stuff, because he helped me do my splits all the way.
I don't know about this. Tell me, how do you talk to God?
So when I'm doing stuff, I ask him if I can do it right, and he does help me do it right.
That's wonderful. I would agree with Beatrice that if we feel like we're not doing well, calling on that is really helpful.
No one sees me because I do it in my head.
That's the great thing about prayer, is it can be very personal, right? Actually, part of the reason why I felt turned off by religion is because it was so outwardly focused. Again, hypocrisy. Yeah. Okay, how does it make you feel when you're talking to God or praying to God?
It makes me feel good.
Yeah, me too.
It makes me feel calm. And, yeah.
How did we pray or meditate when we were at yoga ashram?
We meditated in silence, and the grown-ups, they sometimes have yoga mat and sit on it, and people do stuff, and it's just silence. And some people grab a blanket too and one of the cushions to lay down and talk to him.
How did it feel?
Good. When I was there at ashram too, I got to teach some of my friends at church. Ashram, and we did yoga. There was another grown-up helping me there.
Yeah, Beatrice got to teach we had a Sunday school. We did motherhood yoga retreats. Mothers particularly struggle with finding God and peace and calm in their daily lives, and so we really tried to serve them. And Beatrice got to do a couple of the yoga classes for the kids, and that was really great. It was great to see her up there as an example to the kids. What are your favorite books about God?
My Bible. It's called My First Bible, and it is all about stuff. And if you can see it, I'm on the page. I haven't read it in so long, so I like this page over here because it's a little if you can see it.
Joseph in the Coat of Many Colors. Let me see.
Yeah, Joseph in the Coats of Many Colors. And because Joseph was the favorite son, and his brothers were jealous because their dad loved Joseph more than I think more, and he made a colorful coat with many colors, but they digged a hole to put Joseph in it, but then they sold people and sold him for a slave and took his little coat and put goat blood on it, and they said, "Look at Father, someone has killed Joseph." But after he was safe, he went back, and this one is my also favorite. It's called Noah and the Ark. So it's from Abe and Eve had many children. So Abe and Eve was made, I think. Abe and Eve was made over here. I like the pretty pictures, and it's from when my sisters got baptized. The priest gave this book to me, and he says once I finished it, he would order me a bigger one. So I think I'm going to start today to start reading it. If you ever heard that story, put a link because I love it.
Yeah. What I really like about homeschooling is that we can offer exposure to many of these teachings and to see them become self-motivated. And we never know who's going to come in and light the spark, so to speak. And so Beatrice is now motivated because she wants to finish the book so she can get the next version of the Bible. Yeah. And so what other books do you like about God?
We have a family Bible that we have to start reading.
Do you like that one about that Aunt Pat gave you about the
Lord Help Me?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I thought this one we read often, and it's really good for the kids to just remember that there's a part of them, that God is part of them, that they can speak to internally, and He will guide them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what do you like about going to church?
I focus. I like staying there because after we get donuts and juice boxes and fruit, I started having 2 oranges. I'm working up to 3. And
encouraging healthy eating, right?
Yeah.
Balancing it out.
I always get the long maple donuts, the long johns. I like the maple ones.
Yeah.
I haven't got another one since I only got those.
In the morning satsangs, they're called in yoga, at the end there's always a prasad, it's called, and it's a sweet. And so whether we're adults or kids, we're all motivated by showing up to the things that may be hard to show up to but are good for us, if at the end we get a sweet. So just like in one of our other videos we talked about, in our gear video, we talked that we will get ice cream and orange juice throughout the day. We will do hard things if at the end we get a sweet, right?
If we told you in the other video that the orange juice is homemade and
it's fresh squeezed. Yeah.
By a machine.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything you want to add about? Well, I guess I'll sum up here about why we're doing the Camino. So the Camino, we will talk about. It's already filmed, but we have to put it up about in homeschool. We talk a lot about what is a pilgrim, and so for me as a parent, why we're doing this is, first of all, we were called to it. We were asked to do it, and if you follow God's callings, that is the one part that makes the most sense. But beyond that, from the intellectual reasoning mind, is that there will be many life skills here, and also showing our kids that we will dedicate each step to God. And when we forget about God, the opportunity to bring it back to God, right?
And mothers, I hope you had a great Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I am so grateful to be Bee's mother.
Because today me and my sisters made her breakfast in bed.
They did. And I think Lila's going to sing you a little song, a Camino song. So we'll see if she can do that.
she will sing it, and we will put it in
In the video.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks
Bye.
for showing up, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.